With Delirium League just under a week away, many of you are wondering what in the heck kind of build you're going to start the league with. Will minions be nerfed into the ground? Can my lightning warp totems finally be buffed? In the second of 3 builds in the Speculative Starter series, I am introducing Dr. Popper, a Poison Blade Vortex assassin. Welcome, it's your friendly neighbourhood badger here, and I am back with the second Speculative Starter, a mad scientist monster, right in line with the theme of Delirium. Dr. Popper has an amazing balance of speed and boss killing potential, greatly enhanced by some choice unique options, but are by no means necessary. As a starter build, this crazed character can zip you through the leveling process and through your first conquerors with ease, running circles around bosses like no tomorrow. Like all my starter builds, what I showcase in this build guide are very budget options, but the builds can scale immensely with a small amount of investment. What you are seeing below is me completing a T15 Toxic Sewers map on an extremely tight budget and very low level gems. I threw some gear on this character together in 10 minutes and it is performing insanely well, as you can see. And this is without even using Blade Blast, which is the new skill we will be utilizing in 3.10. Disclaimer, this guide and my previous guide will be updated in the description if anything drastic changes when the 3.10 patch notes come out, so definitely come back and check when that happens. But I have chosen starter builds for the Delirium League that are almost immune to nerfs, so no need to worry. As always, there is a handy color guide below for your easy jumping between sections in this short guide. I give this budget starter build a 4.5 out of 5 stars for clear, 4 out of 5 stars for boss killing, and 3.5 out of 5 stars for survivability. As stated before, Dr. Popper excels with a couple of very choice unique items, so I'm going to start with those right now. The first things you'll want to pick up as quickly as possible is 2 Obliteration Demon's Horns. These obliterations are going to be giving you increased physical damage as extra chaos damage, and the amazing mod of enemies you kill have a 20% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their maximum life as chaos damage. This is absolutely astronomical for your clear. Before you get your obliteration wands, you can just look for some good rare wands that have a good amount of spell damage increase, some chaos damage, any sort of global critical strike multiplier, or global critical strike chance. Even cast speed is really great. In the first obliteration wand, you're going to want to link your Wither spell totem. So that does include the gem Wither, linked to spell totem, and then to multiple totems, allowing up for 3 totems at a time to stack that Wither as quickly as possible on bosses. In the second obliteration wand, you're going to be wanting to use your Flame Dash. Flame Dash is going to be linked with faster casting for better move speed, and Arcane Surge. Just make sure that the mana cost of your Flame Dash is higher than the mana threshold of Arcane Surge, so it procs on every cast of Flame Dash. We then move to our main damage of this build, which is our chest piece. Now, for the chest piece itself, again, as it is a budget starter, if you can get your hands on a Tabula Rasa, that is a very easy 6-link. If you're just looking for a 5-link, again, all you're looking for is good life above 90 or so life, and good resistances. The first chest piece that you're going to want to purchase is a Dendrobate. This is going to turn your Blade Vortex into a pseudo 7-link with a lesser poison linked through the chest. The links in your Blade Vortex are as follows. First of all, Blade Vortex. Then we have Unleash, Void Manipulation, Deadly Ailments, Unbound Ailments, and Vile Toxins. If you have a 5-link, just get rid of Vile Toxins. And lastly, quite a few of these gems have awakened versions, so there is heaps of improvement in the gem links here. You can also change your Blade Vortex for a Vile Blade Vortex for more single target damage. That is OP. For your helmet, boots, and gloves, they can all just be rare items on an extremely tight budget, and you're just looking for good health and good resistances to cap everything out. However, if you can find yourself in possession of a devouring diadem, this is going to be absolutely amazing for you, reserving most of your mana and also allowing you to have an extra aura. The first of your 4 links is going to be including your Blade Blast link, the new skill coming in 3.10. This is going to be allowing for some pretty amazing clear, and we are going to be linking this with, speculatively, increased area of effect, deadly ailments, and void manipulation. This is going to, as I said before, allow for a massive explosion of great clear in wide maps. If anything changes and these links don't actually work with Blade Blast, as I said, it's speculative, check out the Pastebin below closer to release. In your second 4 link, you are going to be linking your cast when damage taken setup, which just includes a level 1 cast when damage taken, a level 10 steel skin, a level 6 blood rage, and increased duration. In the third 4 link, which we are going to be situating in our helmet, you are going to be linking your aura and curse setup. So first of all, we have Despair linked with Blasphemy for an aura curse, and then Malevolence. If you don't have the Devouring Diadem helmet, you can just use an Enlighten gem or just situate anything in here that you want. However, if you do have a Devouring Diadem, you can also link Herald of Agony for extra chaos damage. For the rings, amulet, and belt, once again, for an extreme budget version, we're just looking for items with high life and good resistances. However, there are some choice uniques and other rare items you can search for that will help this build immensely. First of all, you want to search for a Circle of Nostalgia with buff effect of Herald of Agony and increased chaos damage. You can also look for an amulet that has the aura Envy. This is a great aura and you can switch it out with something else. Maybe you could even squeeze it in somewhere if you have a good amount of mana reservation somewhere else on the tree. The passive skill tree choices for Dr. Popper are all focused around poison damage, critical strike chance, and critical strike multiplier. Obviously, life as well is important. The ascendancy choice we are taking is Assassin. This is allowing some pretty great notables for poison damage, as well as some good move speed through Mistwalker. Now, the Mistwalker node is what we are taking as our first ascendancy for normal lab. This is just going to mean that we can zip through the leveling process and reach our Cruel Lab into Noxious Strike. We then move into Merciless Lab, Toxic Delivery, and finishing everything off with Opportunistic. That is pretty much it for the Ascendancy choices. We then will zoom out and have a little look at our tree as a whole, shall we? As you can see, we pretty much stick around the Assassin area in the top right-hand corner of the passive skill tree, but we do branch out a little bit for some good life over here and some skill effect duration for our Blade Vortex. You've also probably noticed something pretty interesting here. If you've never seen this jewel before, this is a Thread of Hope jewel. This jewel is by no means necessary, but it does allow us to save a few passive points and get some pretty important notables. This jewel does drop from Cirrus, the new endgame boss introduced in the 3.9 Conquerors of the Atlas. And this jewel is going to be pretty expensive at the start of League, so don't worry too much about this. However, if you do have a very large ring Thread of Hope, you can take Heart of Oak and Revenge of the Hunted for good survivability and a little bit of damage, and then Hunter's Gambit and Swift Venoms for great poison damage. If you don't have this jewel, you can just spec straight into the Revenge of the Hunted here through some evasion and life. Lastly, the very thing that you're going to be wanting to pay attention to is this Perfect Agony notable here. Perfect Agony is very important to take if you do not have the Corralito's Signature Flask. The Corralito's Signature Flask does grant Perfect Agony during Flask effect. However, if you do not have that flask, you take this notable. Just remember, if you do manage to get Corralito's Signature, just spec out of this one right here. That is pretty much it for the path of building here. Down below, you can see all of the leveling process. 10 points, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way through to 90. We have an end game with no cluster jewels and an end game with cluster jewels, basically saving some points to branch out for the new cluster jewels in 3.10. The Pastebin will be down below. You can check everything there. You can also check all of the choices of gear. Quite budget choices here, but I put a couple of other little choices in there as well. Thank you so much. That is pretty much it for this one. While I run an Esh Breach Stone in the background with the extreme budget version of this build, I will quickly talk over some small leveling tips. These are by no means comprehensive, but they should give you a small head start at the beginning of League. You can easily start leveling from level 1 with Explosive Trap. This can carry you through Act 1 until you reach the final waypoint, where you will receive your Blade Vortex gem. You can then just very easily follow the Pastebin below for gem links during the process. However, I would suggest starting with more upfront damage until around level 35, taking supports such as Controlled Destruction and added cold damage, even using a Herald of Ice in Act 2. Once you reach level 35, you can then transition over to poison damage, and this will give you absolutely stonks damage. If you have any questions about the leveling process, I usually get to most comments in the comments section below, so ask away. You can also come join me at twitch.tv/thisisbadgergaming and say hi. So we'll check the boss damage when we get to the end here. So what we're going to do when we get to the boss, we're gonna turn this into a 5-link, and we'll see what kind of damage we can do to Esh just on a 5-link. Alright, let's go back over here. So, we switch over. Alright, so we want to jump in here. Let's first of all, Vile Toxins out. I'm pretty sure. This is the one that we take out. Alright. So we go in here. Stack this up. Stack this right up. Wait, we're first going to put down our totems. Stack this right up, jump in. Get the poison damage on. Watch him die. There he is, and he didn't drop anything. There we are. But that's kind of damage that we can get on an extremely tight budget on a 5-link with the Dr. Popper. Oh, what a fun build guide that was. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And as always, I'm going to end this video with my lovely patrons over at Patreon, which are Airy, John Martin, and Pavel Timel. If you'd really like to support me in any way whatsoever to help my full-time dream come true for creating content, then there is a link down below for the Patreon. But thank you so much, guys. And until next time, Badger out.